This blush that I'm about to show you, I literally only tried today. I think it's amazing. It's so wow. Okay, it's the hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 products in each category. I recently saw Kathleen Lights do this video and I want to do my own take on it, so I'll leave her video link down below if you guys haven't seen it already. But definitely some categories were a little bit harder to pick 3, and then some other categories were super easy. I already knew my top 3, so I'm going to be sharing all of that with you guys today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into my top 3 in every category. So we're going to go in order in the way that I personally apply my makeup. So we're going to start off with primers first. And for primers, in no particular order, I love all 3 equally. I think they all serve a different purpose. So the first one I want to mention is from Hemish. It's their Artless Glow Base with SPF 50. If you're looking for a primer that is just going to give you a very natural dewy glow, then this is the primer for you. I think this looks amazing on the skin. It works so well as a primer because it just makes any of my foundations or tinted moisturizers look even better. It just gives that hydration to my skin that I need. Like, even if I have oily skin, well, I kind of have like combination skin, but this just makes my skin look very glowy and bright. I think they named it perfectly, a glow base. It is really the perfect glow base, and Hemish is a really affordable, cruelty-free Korean makeup brand, so I would highly recommend this product. It's probably one of my favorite products from Hemish. I absolutely love and adore. The next primer I have comes from e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's their Poreless Putty Primer, and I absolutely love this. Obviously, it's in my top 3, but I definitely see a difference in my overall makeup with this primer underneath everything. This does a really great job of just filling in the pores, hence the name, and I think it just makes my skin look a little bit more smooth and blurred out, and I really enjoy this primer. I actually love using the Hemish primer and the e.l.f. one together. It's what I have underneath all of my makeup today, and I just love the finish it gives. I love how the Hemish one gives me the glow, but then the e.l.f. one fills in my pores, and I feel like the combo of the two looks really good, and I just really love the e.l.f. one. As you can see, I've used so much of this. I actually have a mini version of their other putty primers that I haven't tried yet. I'm also really curious about their acne one, the green putty primer, so hopefully that comes to the Australian site soon and I can try that out. But absolutely love the putty range. I think it's so worth the hype and definitely worth the money too. And the last primer I want to mention, I actually don't have on hand with me physically to show you, but it is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. So this is just a normal sunscreen, but you can use it as a makeup primer because actually the texture of the Unseen Sunscreen is a little bit silicone-y. It is a 2-in-1. Although it's expensive, it's very effective, and I love that as a primer too, but I actually ran out of it. I do need to pick up another one. Next category is foundation. So the first one, the one I'm wearing today, is my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I wear the shade Medium 9W. I always get the names mixed up because in the Pretty Fresh foundation I was wearing, I think, a light 90W or light 70W. I'm not sure, but I'm wearing a medium 9W in the tinted moisturizer. I absolutely love this guy. It is a tinted moisturizer, so it is going to give you very light coverage, but that's what I love about it. I love how versatile this is. I would wear this with a full glam look like I am today, or I wear it on my more natural days, because you can really sort of manipulate how you want this to look. If you want it to look more natural, go in with this alone and you're all good to go. I feel like it does a really great job of just evening out your skin tone. But if you want to amp it up and just make it suitable for a full glam, just go in with your favorite concealer and that will do the job. I feel like this is just a really great base just to sort of even out your skin tone. Your skin won't look cakey after you apply this. It's very hydrating, and I think this looks even better when you use a hydrating primer. So for example, the Artless Glow Base or even their Pretty Fresh primer, those two together just looks amazing. Next foundation I want to mention is from M Cosmetics. It's their Daydream Cushion, and I have mine in the shade Gentle Light. The way I feel about the tinted moisturizer is similar to the way I feel about the cushion, but I feel like with the M Cosmetics cushion you definitely can get a little bit more coverage just because the way you apply it, you're applying it with the puff and you're pressing it into your skin, so I definitely feel like you can get more coverage coverage out of this. So I would say this one is definitely more to a light to medium, and then the ColourPop one is definitely just a light coverage. But nonetheless, I think the cushion just looks so amazing on the skin. It just looks like your skin but better. It just has those vibes. I think M Cosmetics just has those vibes. And for the third foundation is from Urban Decay. It is their All Nighter Waterproof Liquid Foundation. I wear mine in the shade number 4. So if you guys are looking for a really beautiful full coverage semi-matte foundation, this is the most beautiful one I have ever tried. Every time I wear this, I just feel like, wow, my skin looks so smooth. My skin looks like covered. Like every time I use this, I'm always amazed. The only thing that I don't like about the All Nighter line is their shade range. So I wear number 4, and it is a little too dark and also too golden and yellow. Like it's way too rich. And if I were to go to their shade below, which is 3.5, the undertone does not fit me at all. So I feel like if Urban Decay could just, you know, tweak their shade range a little bit, then I would be so happy, because the formulation, absolutely stunning, but shade range definitely could do a little work. And now for concealers. My number 1 absolute favorite concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I wear mine in the shade Almond. I feel like more recently I've tried a couple of more concealers, not that many. It's just because I personally don't like to purchase a lot of base products like foundations, primers, and concealers, just because they do go bad pretty quickly and they definitely could break you out, and I just don't want that. So typically I will use a foundation, use it up, and then purchase another one. I've been using this concealer since 2018, obviously like a different bottle, but since 2018 I've been sticking to this concealer as my holy grail, because although I have tried a couple of concealers, nothing really compares to this one. I think first, the shade range is really amazing. The shade Almond I love against my skin tone. I actually like it to cover my dark circles, but also to spot conceal. I feel like it doesn't really look that bad at all. Second, the coverage is medium to high coverage. I feel like it does a good job of covering up my dark circles and also my acne scars. And what I love about it is that it doesn't make my under eyes look dry. Usually with high coverage concealers, you kind of like have to choose one or the other. You have high coverage, but it's gonna look cakey, or it's not gonna look cakey, but it's a low coverage, you know. But this one just meets the sweet spot for me, and on my skin it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, like obviously like my under eyes, like I have creases, it's gonna look a little crusty there sometimes, but compared to when I use other concealers, this one definitely looks the best, and it's just an all-rounder for me. It is my second bottle. I'm gonna purchase another one actually, because I'm running really low, like I'm scraping the sides here. But this lasts you for so long. You get so much product in this concealer. It is so worth it. And honestly, I just really haven't tried another concealer that I love. I know what you guys are gonna say. You guys are gonna tell me to try the Undone Beauty one, because a lot of you guys keep telling me to try it, and I will one day. But like I said, I don't like to purchase too many concealers and have them on hand and opened, because I don't want them to expire. So we'll see. One day I will try it, but for now, like this one, I just feel like it can't get any better than this for me. I really do love this. So this would have to be my number 1. My next concealer product is actually a corrector palette, and this one is from NYX. It's their color correcting concealer palette. So it comes with 6 different shades to help you color correct. I mainly use the salmon shade, which you can actually kind of see I hit pan on, so you know I love it. I mainly use a salmon shade first, just right over here where the most darkness underneath my eyes is, and then I'll dab it out, and then I'll go in with my foundation. And I feel like using the two together, it doesn't look cakey. I have tried, I think maybe 1 or 2 other correctors, and they typically do make my under eyes look a little bit heavier, but this one I feel like you can really share it out, and it's from NYX, so it's very affordable, and you have a wide range of color correctors. I did use a little bit of the green mixed with the skin tone shade around my nose because it was quite red this morning. I don't really play around with anything else. I mainly just wanted it for the salmon shade, and I feel like that's still worth it. But you never know, it can come in handy for other color correcting purposes. I still gotta try to get used to that. So my next concealer, just to fill in the top 3, because like I said, I don't really have a lot of concealers I love, and I don't really have a lot of concealers on hand, but I do really like this one. This one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Creamy Concealer. Right now I have have the shade Light 45W. This would definitely have to be more of like a highlighting concealer for me, but nonetheless I really still do like the Pretty Fresh concealer. I generally just like the Pretty Fresh line from ColourPop. I have already used one of these concealers up through my project pan. I guess if you're going to compare it to like my tried and true, this one's just a little bit more creamier, but nonetheless it looks really great on the skin and I do love it. But yeah, I would have been happy just mentioning 2, but if you wanted me to mention a 3, then this would be my 3rd pick. So we are going to be skipping over the category of powder just because I feel like I don't really have like a favorite. There is one that I want to mention, the Essence All About Matte powder, but that was only the one that I could really mention in my top 3. Everything else I do like, and it's just like sort of good, but it's not like holy grail. I feel like I'm still on the search for my absolute holy grail. So we're just gonna skip over powder and move straight into the brows. Oh, the most difficult part of my makeup routine for me personally, but these 3 products I feel like I can't live without and I absolutely love and adore. So I'm going to start off with my eyebrow pencil, and I feel like if you guys have been around for a little bit, you would already know this is the only eyebrow pencil that like I truly love and adore, and I talk about it non-stop. It is the NYX Cosmetics Micro Brow Pencil. I'm wearing the shade Black today. I actually whipped this out just to like film the clips for you because I'm actually going through another brow pencil through my project pan, but I literally have like backups of these in my collection. I actually got gifted this from my friend, and I actually already have another one backup. Like, you know, you just need eyebrow pencils as backup because they run out so quickly. You use them so much, and especially with me, I have really sparse brows, so I just need this all the time. So what I love about it is that it's very affordable. It's only $10 US. It's very comparable to the Anastasia one, but half the price, and it's very micro. It's a very skinny brow, and that's what I love. I don't really like thick brow pencils or anything thick in the brow area just because I need to be quite detailed with my brows just because they are just so sparse. So yeah, this NYX Micro Brow Pencil is the best. I love it. And the next brow product I actually don't have on me physically to show you, but it is the Anastasia Brow Powder. And I've only really recently realized how much I love this brow powder. So this brow powder was probably the first ever brow powder I bought back in high school. It was the same one that I was using, and only this year I decluttered it through my project pan because I was like, hey, you know, it's getting a little old, like 6-7 years, like, you know. So I let it go. I'm using a new brow powder from Jason Weir, which, you know, is okay. I do like, but now that I don't have that brow powder and comparing it to the brow powder that I'm currently using, I'm like, wow, that Anastasia brow powder was really good. It is expensive, but I mean, $40 that will last you for several years, it's worth it. As for eyebrow gel, my absolute favorite one, and I feel like everybody needs, is the M Cosmetics Brow Cream. Like I mentioned before, I need everything to be micro and small, and this brush right here is very micro and small. And the way this coats your brow hairs, it really just holds up your brow hairs, but it also gives it texture, it gives a tint to your hairs, and for someone that has very sparse brows, this is exactly what I need. I feel like my brow hairs, you can see them a little. Now on to eyeshadow palettes. So this one was a little hard to figure out my top 3 because I really do love a lot of palettes, and every palette gives you a different vibe for a different occasion. And I recently uploaded a video titled If I Could Only Keep 10 Palettes, This Is What I Would Keep. So I'll leave that video in the cards here if you'd like to check that out if you just want to get a general view of what palettes I do like. And all 3 of these I did mention in that video, but I guess these are my top 3 for now. Just my preference right now. You know, I'm filming this on the 17th of July. This is my preference as of right now. So we'll start off with what I'm currently wearing on my eyes. This is the 3CE Overtake eyeshadow palette. So I am aware that 3CE is not 100% cruelty free. They definitely fall into the gray area, but since I already have it, it has been one of my favorites, and I do just want to mention that this palette really just serves me everything that I need, from light transitions to mediums to dark, and even throughout the metallics we have the light highlight, the medium tone copper, and then the darker bronze. You have everything that you need in here. It's nice and compact. It really is an amazing eyeshadow palette, and I think for every day, this is the one that I really reach for the most. And then of course, my other 2 palettes are from ColourPop because, like, duh. But I do want to mention one of their little quads. This one is cream soda, and it's so odd that I like this one so much because I really don't use the metallics often. Like these metallics, I really shades that I use on the everyday, but these two mattes on the bottom I absolutely love. Like these actually have a pretty significant little dent in it, but I love these two just as a wash of color all over my eyes. It's enough wash of color where it doesn't blend into my skin and it looks like nothing, but it's not too bright and overpowering for a natural look. Like it's just like the perfect tone. I like to mix the two, and I really just love the two mattes in here. I almost feel kind of silly for mentioning this palette because I only like 2 shadows in here, but it's just that good for me, and I keep it in my top drawer. I use it so often, but yeah, again, this is me right now. This is me right now. But the last palette is a discontinued palette from ColourPop, but you guys know it's my favorite palette ever. It's the Give It To Me Straight palette from ColourPop, which I honestly don't know why they discontinued. A big business mistake from ColourPop, because I feel like this is such a great staple palette to have in their lineup, because you really do get everything. You get the warm tones, but you also get the berry tones. Again, like for me, when I look at a palette, I want a range, not necessarily in shades, but mainly in finishes and tone. So for me, in a palette, I really love mattes. Mattes I could run a mile with, you know? But when it comes to mattes, I really want to see a transition. I want to see a medium tone, and then I want to see a dark tone. And the same for the metallics. A light metallic to highlight, a medium metallic for an all over shade, and then a darker metallic that you can use for a smoky eye. And this palette has it, and it has it for the warm side and for the berry side. Alright, moving along to the next category, we have eyeliners. Another one that I don't physically have on me is the Uzi by Fushi Eye Opening Eyeliner. My favorite liquid brush tip eyeliner. Shout out to my girl Denise for introducing me to this amazing eyeliner. I love it. I just currently don't have it on hand because liquid eyeliner is one of those categories that I don't like to purchase a lot because they can dry out, and I think I have about 3 or 4 black liquid liners in my collection right now that's open that I just need to get through before repurchasing my favorite. The Uzi one is very comparable to the M Cosmetics one. I feel like they, you know, are kind of similar, honestly, but for me, I just prefer the Uzi one just a little bit more because of the shape of the packaging. It is in like a hexagon or octagon kind of shape, so it feels more like a pencil, so the grip is a little bit nicer, whereas something like this that's just circular all around, it's gonna be easy to grip as well, but you know, just a little detail. So if I was to choose one or the other, I would choose the Uzi one. I guess it just really depends what's easier for you to purchase, because although the pricing for the M Cosmetics one and the Uzi one is similar, M Cosmetics you can only purchase online, so there is a shipping fee there. Because Uzi I can just buy in the Japanese store in the city where I live, it's easier for me to purchase. But I was holding up this eyeliner, and it's my next one that I want to mention. This is from Milani. It's their Stay Put eyeliner, and I have mine in After Dark, which is just the black. I think for an eyeliner at the drugstore, this one works so well. It is very creamy, very pigmented. It does stay put, but there is going to be just a slight transfer for me. I only see it at the inner corners. Like I use it to tightline my upper waterline today, and it only transfers at the inner corner there, which I'm not really fussed about, but for drugstore, this is a really great pencil eyeliner if you're looking for one. And they do have some other colors which are very beautiful as well. And the last eyeliner I want to mention, of course, ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, specifically the shade Honey You Do. I have repurchased this. I think this is my second one I have, but it's just a really great skin tone nude eyeliner just to tightline your bottom waterline to open up your eyes. It's effective, it looks great, it's affordable. It is fragile, so it will snap a lot, but I think it works great, so for that, I love it. Okay, now onto mascaras. I only have one with me physically to show you, so I'll mention that first, and it's what I'm wearing today. It is the Hemish Smudge Stop Mascara, my absolute favorite mascara, I feel. This one I have right now is a little dried out, so I think in my next Project Pen update, I'm gonna declutter this one, but I actually already have a backup of it, and that just goes to show I love it that much. I think this just makes my lashes look so good. I think earlier I just said the Glow Base was my favorite product from Hemish, but I think the mascara would have to be my favorite because the mascara is just, it's just the most perfect mascara ever. First off, the wand is a little curved, so for your lower lashes, it can really coat it, but the way that this coats my lashes and gives the length and it separates my lashes, it looks so good. And I think, you know, for Asian lashes that are very stubborn, this is a really great mascara to have, and love, adore this. So the other two mascaras I don't have on hand with me, so I'll pop a picture over here. First one is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. Also love this one as well. It kind of gives me a similar vibe to the Chemist one, but I feel like the Essence one is just a little bit more clumpy, but not clumpy in a bad way, because I love clumpy lashes, if I'm being honest. Like, I just love a thick lash. Yeah, this one is a little bit of a thicker formulation, but it gives a lot of texture to my lashes, and I love how this looks. Also very affordable, and it's a little bit more accessible for me to get because we just sell it in our department store. Whereas Hemish, I think we might sell it in some stores in the city, like the Asian stores, but I just get mine off Your Style. And my third place mascara would have to be the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So although this is my third favorite mascara, it's not a mascara that I personally would repurchase, just because the other two I just mentioned is way cheaper than Better Than Sex, and I feel like it kind of almost performs a little bit better. And for me personally, mascaras is not a category that I have tried so much from, or something that I'm very excited to try, honestly. So just off the top of my head, I would say that would have to be my number 3 spot. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about false lashes, and we'll start off with the one that I'm currently wearing on my eyes right now. This one is from Petite Cosmetics. It's their Luxe Faux Mink Lash in the style Honey. Just make me the ambassador of honey. Honestly, I wear honey all the time. It is my absolute favorite glam lashes. Whenever there's an occasion or I know I'm going to be taking photos, I will wear honey lashes because just the way it looks on my eye shape, like, I just really love it. I feel like although it is pretty intense, like, it's not too intense, you know. I just really love the wispiness and just how it makes my eyes look. I feel like every time I wear these lashes, my eyes look way bigger. And then number 2, this one's more of like a natural lash. It's also from Petite Cosmetics, but it's from their 3D Luxe line, and this is in the style Hana. They still give you that wispiness, but they're not so long in length compared to the Honey, but they still give definition to your eyes, but without overtaking your eyes. They look very natural in my opinion, and I know a lot of people love the Ardell lashes for their natural lashes, but I feel like the style for me is not really my favorite. I definitely prefer a lash that looks like this, and yeah, this would have to be my favorite everyday natural lash. Like, if I'm doing a natural look, but you know, I do want to add a little bit more oomph to my eyes, I will always go in with Hana, one of my absolute favorites. And the third lash I want to mention is from House of Lashes. It's their Boudoir Light, and these ones kind of similar to the Honey lashes. They just make my eyes look super doll-like and big and googly. I love them. These are a little bit shorter in length compared to Honey. It's a little bit more dense in the center, whereas Honey does flare out at the outer edges. Okay, so let's move into the cheeks, and let's start off with bronzer. So I actually don't have a lot of bronzers in my collection. I feel like bronzer is a category that I really lack in and don't have a lot of, but I have 3 here that I'm just going to share with you. So the first one is from Ilia. It's their Nightlight Bronzing Powder, and I have mine in the shade Novelty, and this is like a very recent purchase. Like, I literally got this last week, and if I'm being honest, it's like my second time using it today, but I kind of know what I like in a bronzer. As long as it's like not patchy on me, then that's all I really need. And this is also my first product from Ilia as well, and I'm really impressed. It was a little expensive. It was like almost $60 New Zealand dollars, but I feel like it applies really well. Like, it's very smooth, it looks very buttery on the skin. I would say the only thing that I don't like about these bronzers is the shade range. Like, if you see the lighter shade to this shade, there's a big jump. I feel like maybe I could do with something a little bit in between there, but I think the formulation wise, it is a really great bronzer, and it doesn't look patchy on my skin. I think it looks very smooth. I do think it's a little bit too dark and warm for me where I am right now in winter, but the formulation is really great. So I still love this, and I'm excited to continue playing with it. The next one I have to mention is, of course, from Kaleidos. It's their Charisma Contour Palette. I have mine in the shade Warm and Medium. This is currently in my project pan, so it does look a little bit better. So I just really adore this little contour palette. As you can see, the bronzer I've hit pan tremendously on. I just love the formulation on these. These blend out so well. They look so great on the skin. They're like definitely an underhyped product from Kaleidos. I feel like when it comes to Kaleidos, a lot of their eyeshadow palettes stand out or their highlighters, but this one's a really great one and I really love this. I definitely would repurchase this. And the third bronzer I want to mention is just a little bit of a cheap, but not really. This is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Blush in Faded Clementine. So it is technically considered as a blush, but I think you definitely could use this as a bronzer. And let me tell you, this looks absolutely amazing on the cheeks. Like if you just want to look like golden hour, like you want to be the definition of golden hour, just wear this on your cheeks because girl, it looks amazing. And I think if you have a lighter skin tone, then this definitely would be a bronzer on you, but for me, I could use it as a bronzer, blush and bronzer. So now let's move into blush, one of my favorite categories. I am obsessed with blush. So this category was actually really hard to choose. The top two was really easy, but the third one I'm like, oh, what should I add in? Because recently I've been trying a lot of blushes and I'm like, should I add this one in? But no, I really like this. Okay, but like, okay, we'll just start off the top two that I was like concrete for sure. I already knew that I was going to mention. So of course we have the Super Shock blush from ColourPop in the shade Growth Flow. My absolute favorite shade from their Super Shock blush line. It looks so good. Like, okay, it might look a little intimidating in the pan, and I feel like with blushes, sometimes it can look intimidating in the pan, but trust me, once you use a sponge, you blend it out, it looks so good and natural, and this is what it is. This is my go-to rosy blush. Whenever I do like a natural look, I will always use this, and whenever I do a pinky look, always using this. Like it looks absolutely stunning on the cheeks. I would highly recommend. Next blush is a powder blush, and this one comes from Too Faced. It's their Love Flush blush in the shade I Will Always Love You. And first off, the packaging. Okay, I will admit I did buy this because of the packaging, but luckily the formulation blew me away. So overall packaging, formulation, absolutely stunning. I'm not sure if this shade I Will Always Love You is still available because I think they might have discontinued their old shades and now they have released new shades, which I am so tempted to buy. Like it's on my wish list. This blush I use a lot too on my natural days. Like whenever I just need something quick and easy to go, I'll actually take this onto my eyes as a wash of color, then on my cheeks as blush, and I'm like boom boom boom, I'm out the door. So this is a satin blush, so it does have a sheen to it, so I feel like you don't need to go in with further highlight if you don't want to, because it does already have that glow to it, and it really just looks good. I mean, like you can see how much I've used this. If you just look at the imprint is almost gone. This is the product that is making me go back into Too Faced, because suddenly everything at Too Faced now I just want. Before, like Too Faced was a brand that I really love, like, you know, whatever. But now, like after this blush, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I love the concealer too. Maybe I'll like the other stuff as well. But anyway, moving into the third blush. Okay, this third spot was very hard to secure, if I'm being honest. And this blush that I'm about to show you, I literally only tried today. But it's gonna be my third spot because I think it's amazing. It's so wow. Okay, it's the Tower 28 Beach Please Luminous Tinted Balm in the shade Magic Hour. So I'm assuming you can use this for your lips as well, but I used it as a cream blush today, and I actually got gifted this from my friend who lives in the US. Shout out to you, Joy, if you're watching. I'm wearing it today. The color, first off, the color is so pretty, but the formulation, I feel like this is probably the best cream blush I have used. I think the pigment is very rich and it's very blendable. It's not patchy at all. It's just something about this. It has like this softening, blurring effect to it that once I used it, I was like, okay, you're my number 3 spot. Let's go. Okay, now on to highlighters. This one was a very easy category for me to do because I felt like I just use the same 3 highlighters all the time. Like I really don't mix it up at all. But of course, the first one I want to mention, which is also discontinued, but this one is from Dose of Colors. It's their Desi X Katie collection in the shade Fuego. This is in my project pan, hence there is a pan in there, and I'm so proud of that pan. Probably one of the few highlighters that I've hit pan on, and what can I say? I hit pan on it. I love it. I'm wearing it today. I'm just wearing it a little bit today, but you can see it is just, it doesn't enhance my texture. The next highlight I want to mention is from Kaleidos. It's their Ray Rider highlighter. It's honestly a little similar to the Dose of Color one, honestly. Is it? Okay, this one's a little bit more like champagne. The Dose of Colors one is a little bit more golden, but once on the cheek, it does look fairly similar. But the Kaleidos highlighters, their formulation, absolutely stunning. It's like very like emollient, is that the right word? I feel like Ray Rider is probably their most wearable one, but I absolutely love it. You can see how much I've used it. The imprint is like almost gone. It used to look like this, but now it looks like that. So yeah, I love this one a lot. Sits in my top drawer all the time. And my last highlighter I want to mention is the ColourPop Lunch Money Super Shock highlight. What I love about the Super Shock formulation, especially with Lunch Money, is that you can definitely build it up. You could take a little and it looks like you just went for a light walk, but you could add on a little bit more and you could just blind from outer space. And I love how it's just like a solid metallic. I personally don't like glittery highlights, so yeah, this one would have to be the last favorite of mine. Okay guys, we're now on to the final category. We are now moving into lips, and I will say this was probably maybe the hardest category for me to pick. This and eyes, because I think lips and eyes, like eyeshadow palettes, is what I have the most of. So there's a lot of options for me to pick out of, and to only pick 3 was a little difficult. But I just went about it in a way, what do I wear the most? What am I wearing the most? Like in my day-to-day life, not when I'm filming, what do I pick out of my top drawer the most? And these 3, no doubt about it, is what I wear the most. So the first one, what I'm currently wearing, is the Jason Wu Hot Fluff lipstick in the shade Eclair. I feel like this is probably one of my favorite lip color shades to date. Like, it is a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange, but not like too much of either one. It's like really in between, and I just love the color. I love the formulation as well. It is super creamy. It doesn't dry out my lips. Like, it's a creamy formulation, but the finish gives you a matte finish, and I feel like it lasts fairly long. But this is marketed to be a 3-in-1, so you can use this on your eyes and your cheeks, and oof, that combo, a monochromatic look, gorgeous. The next 2 lip colors, I mean, like, I don't really know if I really need to talk about it at this point. Like, I really don't think I need to, but I'm going to, just in case anyone's new. But the next 2 are from ColourPop. So the first one is their Just a Tint lip crayon in the shade Rise and Shine. This is perfection. Honestly, Rise and Shine is my favorite shade. I wear this so often. The formulation is just so hydrating. It's like a tinted lip balm, and it just makes your lips look really good. It's like a really perfect everyday lip color to have. It smells delicious as well. It's affordable. It's just overall a really great lip color and lip product in general. Like, if you don't like Rise and Shine, they have so many more shades you can choose from. And of course, I have the Luxe Velvet Liquid Lipstick. I love the shade Air Kissed. It is just the perfect romantic rosy sort of pink shade. It is so stunning on the lips, and I feel like this shade, I've said this so many times, will suit so many skin tones. If you're lighter than me, deeper than me, this will look amazing on you. Honestly, I feel like it is just a really great universal color, and just the tone is pure perfection. Alright you guys, so that was my top 3 products in every single category excluding powders. But honestly, I didn't think this video would take this long to film. I think I've been filming for an hour, so I definitely need to drink some water now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting to watch. If you did, please give it a thumbs up for me. I would appreciate it so much, and I would also love to know your thoughts down below. You could just leave me your top 3 in your favorite category, or if you want to leave your whole list down below in the comments as well, that's fine too. I'll be reading them when this video gets uploaded. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!